What's up, G-Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G-Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out. It's Monday, July 24th. Comic-Con has come and gone, and there really wasn't nothing to talk about. Very upsetting, very upsetting. But Hollywood, on the other hand, regardless of a strike, has probably had one of its best openings ever, definitely this year, with Barbie and Oppenheimer coming in and blowing the doors down. We're going to get into that, as well as talk about a couple of trailers that dropped, with which is the Marvels, right? We did get a Marvels trailer. I mean, Marvel wasn't at Comic-Con, but we did get a trailer for Brie Larson's led Marvel, The Marvels, and Invincible Season 2 on Amazon, which I've got some things to say about that. Nothing mad. I'm not mad. They're not bad. They're not bad. Because I think it looks great. But I digress. Let's get right into it. I would be remiss if I didn't say the GAMERA REBIRTH trailer and release date, September 7th on Netflix. We will talk about that a little bit too. But let's get right into it. You know how we do. We gotta start with the box office. We've got to start with the box office. And my God, talk about a turn for the better. Because what has been affectionately dubbed Barbenheimer, although, I mean, like, it is cool. I can't lie. It's a cool catchphrase. I can't lie. I want to be mad at it, but I just can't. It rolls off the tongue. Barbenheimer. It's funny. I digress. But Barbie and Oppenheimer, what they did this weekend at the box office is, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Not even the savior, Tom Cruise could do it, or did it last week with Mission Impossible. So let's break this down. I've got two different numbers for Barbie here. But I'm going to go with this particular one only because the Oppenheimer numbers are the same for both particular websites. So I'm going to go with this version. Because this one is not inflated. So let me just get to it. Barbie opened up from the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with previews on Thursday, and made $155 million this weekend. Listen to what that number just said. That's $155 million this weekend. And this is the low ball number. The other site that I've seen these numbers on have it at $162 million opening weekend. I don't know which one to believe. I'm going to go with this one, because this one, Box Office Mojo, has been around for, a long time, and this is the one I usually go to. And again, Oppenheimer, they both are the same thing on both sites. But again, $155 million. This movie opened up with $100 million more than The Flash did. I hate bringing The Flash back up. I do. I hate it. It's just such... It is definitely the most disappointing box office shit in forever. It definitely this year might be of all time, considering what this thing was. But we ain't talking about Flash. Let's talk about Barbie. I didn't see it. I claimed I was going to go see it. I said I was going to go see it. I was going to go with my wife. I was going to go with my child. That didn't happen because they decided to take it upon themselves to have a girls' date night and go see Barbie with all of their girlfriends. Fine, so be it. Just leave me in the corner by myself. I don't want to go see it anyway. I was sulked in the corner all night and watched anime like a big baby. I don't care. I love it. But no, they all went. That's why I didn't go. They all went, came back, had a great time. They said they loved the movie. They had fun with it. And now I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait for HBO. But they enjoyed it. They said the theater was full, and it was full of women. She said, talking to my wife, there was a couple of men there, and it probably dragged, by their wives. Who knows? Maybe I wanted to see it. I did. But like I said, they decided to have girls' night out, ladies' night out. So be it. I can't argue with that. Go ahead, have fun. But Barbie absolutely crushed the box office. Now, I can't say I didn't see this coming, but I didn't see it as much as this. I figured, yeah, it'll probably make about 85 to 105 million. So 155 is crazy. If it really is 162, that's even better, right? But I saw it happening. This movie, and this is not a dig at Little Mermaid, but this movie was probably more for the girls. Like literally, like The Little Mermaid's a remake, and there was a lot of controversy with that. You know, a lot of people were saying what it is, like their feelings towards it. But still, The Little Mermaid makes bank. It made good money. It actually came in. Well, it came in number 11 this weekend. But still, that's crazy considering the movie's been out for 2 months now. Since May. Almost 3 months now. So, I just, it's amazing. Barbie, man. Girl power at its fucking finest, I would say, right? Literally. Has to be, right? Girl power at its finest. But, coming in number 2, and this cannot be, overlooked, was Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which took in $80 million. Hear me out, people. Now, before I get into the, not controversy, but the ins and outs of, is it because of Barbie or Barbenheimer? $80 million is the best opening weekend, shit, I think since maybe Spider-Man, maybe Super Mario Brothers. But it completely blows everything out of the water, for a long time. Flash, 55 million. Indiana Jones, 60 million. Mission Impossible. Okay, remember, Mission Impossible opened on Wednesday, right? On the 12th. But it had preview shows that Monday and preview shows on Tuesday. Even with the preview shows, 5-day total, like the entire gross, was $80 million opening weekend. That was with 5 days from, let's say, just Wednesday to Sunday. Oppenheimer did it Friday to Sunday. So in 3 days, Oppenheimer did more than Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, which is bonkers. Bonkers. Because everybody loves Tom Cruise, right? Tom Cruise saved Hollywood with Top Gun Maverick, right? He's going to do it again because the box office was falling. It was flailing. They were in deep trouble. The movies weren't hitting. Spider-Man was like the last official big hit that had legs, kept going. Transformers came out the week after Spider-Man took number 1 spot. The next week, it was gone. It was gone. Spider-Man was above Transformers. Spider-Man has the legs. No pun intended. But everything after that, from Spider-Man, then it was Transformers, then The Flash bombed and tanked at the box office. Yeah, it was number 1, but 55 million opening weekend is not what anybody was predicting. Indiana Jones had a 60 million opening weekend. Definitely not what was projected by Disney. So Mission Impossible was coming in to save the day, right? Mission Impossible. Here comes Tom Cruise. 80 million tops. 80 opening weekend. 80 to 100. It's Tom Cruise. And from Friday to Sunday, Mission Impossible made $55 million. The same amount of money that The Flash made in its 3-day opening weekend. And again, from Wednesday to Friday, 80 million. And I don't even know if that is with previews thrown in for Monday and Tuesday. It could possibly be. But Oppenheimer made $80 million in 3 days. So it's crazy when you think about that. Now let's get into this. Could it have anything to do with the whole Barbenheimer situation? Because you go online, you see the memes, you see the people, they posting pictures. They're going to see Barbie, then they're going to see Oppenheimer. I've seen a lot of people, especially like couples, who was doing that. Barbie for the lady, Oppenheimer for the man, right? And that's how it was going. I can't speak ill about this. Again, like I said at the top, I think it's kind of great. I think it was great. I never would have, a million years, I never would have thought that this was a combination to be reckoned with. I thought Oppenheimer was going to get slaughtered by Barbie. And I mean, like, look, 155 million to 80 million. It's not a slaughter, but I mean, it is. It's huge. It's huge. But is Barbie the reason why Oppenheimer had $80 million? Because if Barbie wasn't coming out, I think Mission Impossible would have did a little better. And Oppenheimer probably wouldn't have made 80. I'm not sure. I don't know. The Tenet was Christopher Nolan's last movie, and that, like, people didn't like it. So I think the 1-2 punch of Barbie and Oppenheimer and this idea of making it this, like, internet cliched meme thing, let's go see both and call it Barbieheimer, I think that got so much traction that it benefited Oppenheimer, that it benefited the box office, period. Theaters across the nation loving it, and I can't knock it. I think it's fantastic. I think it really is. I didn't see the movie. Like I said, I didn't go see Barbie like I was going to because, I got kicked out for ladies' night only, and I don't own a wig that fits anymore. And Oppenheimer, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I don't think I want to go see that in the theaters and sit there for 3 hours. But when it comes on HBO Max, I'll give it a shot. I mean, it don't look bad. I don't hate anything about it. The trailers or nothing. It's just not my type of movie. But like I said, HBO Max or wherever it comes out, I'll give it a shot. I do want to talk about something, though, and this is crazy. Barbie's Thursday night preview. Okay? Barbie's Thursday night preview night racked in $23 million. That's ridiculous. Racked in $23 million. It's like, what? That's a preview night. You figure, all right, the earliest screenings would start at, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And then the last one, maybe it's a midnight show, right? But I don't think Barbie was running 24 hours. And if anything, the midnight show is Friday. That goes to Friday's take, right? So let's say from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., $23 million. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a preview night. That's incredible, man. Massive props to Margot Robbie and the crew for doing that. Barbie. Who would have thought? I'm telling you, I remember when that movie was announced, I was like, they're making a Barbie movie? What? Why? Like, honestly, like, who's gonna go see a Barbie movie? And then that first trailer came out, I was like, man, Barbie. But then it was the second trailer, and I was like, oh my God. This movie's all tongue. They know exactly what they're doing. This is genius. It's genius. And apparently, the box office shows that. So my hat is off to Barbie. I can't believe it. My hat is off to Oppenheimer for what it's done. They have literally gave the box office that shot in the arm it needed. Now, here's the deal. What's coming up next, right? Like, this is it. This is the block. This is like the end of blockbuster season, legit. What's coming up next? We got the A24 horror movie. I forgot the name of that movie. It was like Shake Its Hand, or the one with the hand. Talk to Me. That's coming out this weekend, but I can't see that doing anything. I can't see that standing in the way of Barbie nor Oppenheimer, But it does look good. It looks creepy as hell. We got Ninja Turtles on its way. We got Blue Beetle on its way, which I don't think Blue Beetle's going to make any money. The Meg 2's coming out in about 2 weeks. That's crazy. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, whatever you want to call it, that's actually the only movie I want to see besides the Meg right now in theaters. That's pretty much it. The Haunted Mansion is coming out, but I don't see that doing anything. This might be right here the last time we see that 100 million plus opening box office weekend until whatever the next big blockbuster is. I don't think it's the Marvels. I don't think it's going to be anything else this year. I'll be honest with you, I do not see it happening. But that's the box office report. Let's talk about those Marvels. The Marvels trailer, that second trailer dropped over Comic-Con weekend. It wasn't at any Hall H or anything. It was just Disney saying, in my opinion, it was just Disney saying, hey, if we were at Comic-Con, we would have showed this off. So here, this one's for you. And, you know, it's not a bad trailer, right? It's not bad in any sense of the word. It's not bad. But at the same time, I'm watching this trailer, and I just watched it right before I started the podcast, and I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I tell you, the best part of this trailer, honestly, for me personally, is the Beastie Boys Intergalactic. And they even ruined that a bit because they change it. They mash it up with you know, I don't know, they try to make it more epic. You don't need to make Intergalactic any more epic than it already is. It's an epic song. But yeah, a lot of more explaining from the first trailer, which I did dig the first trailer. I did. There's more explaining the reasons why that's happening in this trailer. We get to see the big bad, which honestly, every time I saw her, I'm like, why is her eyes super wide? Like she's looked surprised in every scene I've seen her in. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, I only seen Captain Marvel once. And I was like, okay, I seen it. I didn't care for the movie. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's not Brie Larson. It's not none of that. I don't get into that type of politics. It wasn't my type. I was just like, man, I like seeing the Kree. I can't lie. I like seeing Kree on the screen. That's cool. Oh, but I will say this. For whatever reason, I'm a huge fan of Photon, Monica Rambeau. I am. I don't know why, but as a kid, I've always liked that costume, the design. I just liked her. I don't know why. I don't know. But I just like that character. So seeing her in this, right, I'm like, well, it's got Photon. I hope they call her Photon. I hope to God they call her Photon. Because I think it's the name. Her name is cool. She got a good look. I like that she's in the white suit. I really do. So I'm excited for that. Kamala Khan, I've said this before. One day I came home from work. I was like, what? I got nothing to do. What am I going to do? I put that series on and I ate it up in like literally one evening. I watched every episode and I enjoyed it. So she doesn't bother me at all. And again, you know, I'm not one of them Brie Larson haters. I don't care either which way. But I don't know if it's Marvel fatigue. I'm not going to say superhero fatigue. Because again, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And again, I did enjoy Flash for what it was. But I like, Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't do it for me. Quantumania. I didn't care for it. Doctor Strange 2, Madness of the Multiverse. I thought I was going to love that. Didn't hit me. Didn't do it for me. Thor, Love and Thunder. Didn't hit me. The last Marvel movie that really is like on both ends was the Spider-Man No Way Home. That was, or Far From Home, whatever the last one. I think it's No Way Home. That to me was my favorite. That was my favorite. The last Marvel movie, that was my favorite. I enjoyed Endgame, but I like Infinity War better. So everything that's come out since, I mean, I've enjoyed Miss Marvel TV show. I've enjoyed She-Hulk. I really did. I thought the one thing I didn't like about She-Hulk, in all honesty, was the twerking thing at the very end. That was an end credit thing. That was it. Did not take away my enjoyment for that. Well, you know what? Now I think about it. The Daredevil. Yeah. That I gotta watch that again. I think I had some issues with the Daredevil. I didn't like his representation. I didn't like what they were doing to him. I'm like, is this supposed to be the same Daredevil from Netflix? I don't know. It was just it was weird. It was different. I enjoyed the episode and I did enjoy Daredevil. The take threw me off. But outside of that, I like She-Hulk a lot. I found it funny, but I'm a sucker also. I'm a sucker for breaking the fourth wall. You could do that gag all the time, and I will love it. I will laugh my ass off. Thank you, Mel Brooks. That's a Mel Brooks thing. Always, forever, I thank Mel Brooks for that gag, because I'm pretty sure it was a Mel Brooks movie where I first saw it, and I was like, that's hysterical. So yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the fourth wall breaking. I love it. I dig it. Why did it work more in in She-Hulk for me than it did in Daredevil? I don't know. I mean, Daredevil, you hear me? Deadpool. Oh, Deadpool. Deadpool's on strike. We're not going to be able to see that movie. I talked about that last week, but all right, it's fine. It's fine. We don't know. I'll tell you. So this Marvel, Miss Marvel that comes out, The Marvels. Let me get it together. The Marvels comes out November 10th. And yeah, I can't see it at all having this type of box office success. I just can't. I can't see any movie, honestly, coming out for the rest of this year having the type of weekend that this weekend had with Barbie and Oppenheimer. I think this is huge. Hell, Barbie might have an $80 million weekend next weekend, and that's still going to be fantastic, regardless on what the percentage of fall off says. $80 million is still one of the best opening weekends, if not second opening weekends, for the movies this year. But I digress. Let's get into this Invincible trailer. Let's get into this Invincible Season 2 trailer coming to Amazon Prime. Now, I'm a giant fan of this comic book series. Like, I kid you not. Invincible is probably one of the greatest superhero comics. I'm not saying probably. In my opinion, it is one of the greatest superhero comic book series I've ever read. It's got to be up there for the all-timers. Like, it's legit. It takes, in my opinion again, it takes such a rich history of comic book culture and lore and superheroes from every aspect, generation, company, it doesn't matter. And it brings it all together to create this super fun universe that on the surface looks like, yeah, this is happy-go-lucky, superheroic child, teenager, whatever. And then it makes this left turn and punches you in the face so hard that your eyeballs bust out the back of your head. That's not hyperbole. That's legit. It's insane that this book that looks like such a fun ride, nostalgic, good time, turns into a brutal, hardcore action / horror in some cases, just because of the themes. Like, oh God, that's horrifying that this person got to go through that. And it is amazing, and it works on every level. And I absolutely love that series. Love it. Love it. I can't express my feelings enough toward that comic book and what Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley did. I know Cory Walker started on that book, but Ryan Ottley pretty much did the entire series in my eyes. I mean, Cory Walker was there for, I think, the first trade, the second trade maybe. I collected them all in trade paperbacks too. I didn't get them single issues. I've got the very first Invincible, and that issue really didn't do. I was just buying issues. I love buying number ones. I go to the comic store. Oh, number one, let me buy it. It didn't really do anything for me. I didn't get it. It wasn't until my cousin lent me the first 3 trades and said, read this. And when I did, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But from that point on, all I did was buy the trade. So I used to stay away from the comic store, Invincible, Comixology, just wait for the trade. I got all of them. I read them all, and I love it, like I said. So, color me excited when that series was coming on Amazon Prime. What? They're making an animated Invincible? That's the only way you could do it. In my opinion, it's the only way. Then you see the first trailer. And you're like, oh my God, the artwork is straight up Ryan Ottley. This is perfect. Everything seems to work perfectly. The voice casting on point. Everybody's got it down. Then the series comes out and I watched it. And I gotta be honest, I had issues. I had issues. Wasn't no character swapping. It wasn't nothing like that. I'm gonna be a big baby right here and do my little venting. This was an issue I had. I love violence in entertainment form. I loved it in Invincible. I love it in anime. I love violence. I love seeing shit blow up. This is why I'm such a diehard Godzilla fan. When things blow up, I love it. I love it. But holy crap, that fight. And I mean, if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry, spoilers, I guess. Just read the comics, it's great. But that fight at the end of season 1 between Invincible and Omni-Man, to me, was a little bit too much. And what I mean by that is, and by no means I didn't, I loved the way it looked. It was violent. The carnage was insane. Don't get me wrong. But what I mean by that is, as a fan of the comic book, it was brutal in the comic. It wasn't that brutal. It wasn't that brutal because when you get to, certain aspects of the comic book later on, it's easier to digest where they're going with it. See, I'm trying not to spoil nothing, okay? But in the comic book, the way they did it, when they get to certain points and stories and shit, it's so much easier to digest. And you can say, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. The anime, on the other hand, Invincible season 1, I was sitting there, I was like, there's no way you can do any of that. There's no way. I'm sitting there literally like, yo, they upped the violence for violence sake, I guess. And again, I love that stuff. I do. And it does look good. But for me, I'm sitting there scratching my head, saying to myself, there's no way that this gets the resolution it does in the comic. There's no way. It does not get the resolution it gets in the comic books. It can't. Because it was too much. It was too much. It was more than overkill. It was more than... And again, this is just me ranting. Y'all might like it. And honestly, 99.9999% of the people out there absolutely disagree with me. I got no problems with that. I'm just talking about in my particular opinion. As someone who loves that comic book, I don't think there was a mistake made in that comic book. There might have been one. I have a thing about, and this is, if they go this far in seasons, this is going to happen way down the line. So spoiler alert. I don't like when a show or any type of entertainment I'm into does a time skip with, like I don't like it. Like Fringe, for instance, went to a different dimension and everything changed. I don't like that. I'm like, no way, I'm so invested of what's going on here. Now it's completely different. And I get from a storytelling perspective, it's like, well, how would the characters deal with that now? Yeah, okay, that's cool. I hated it. Oh, I hated it because I was really liking French. And then I pouted the entire rest of the show. I was like, no, man, I don't like it. I don't like it. This ain't right. That's me, though. That's just me. They do that in Invincible. There is a time skip. And everyone ages except for him. And I'm like, I mean, it works. It does work in a comic. So I say, to me, the comic is flawless, right? And if I had any gripe about the comic, it would be that, because usually I hate things like that, but it does work in the comic. It does, and it's gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching. I don't know if they'll get to that in the Amazon show. I don't know if season 2 is going to be the hit season 1 was, and they continue. All I can say is, as far as the animation goes, I did not like the end of season 1 because I thought, and it's something I would never have thought, but I thought it was just overkill. And I can't believe that they can have that resolution that they do in the comic book. I just can't believe it. It was just too much. But that being said, what makes Invincible, and Robert Kirkman, for instance, genius, is the fact that what I think don't matter, because we're going this one path and all of a sudden what we think we know is not what's happening. There is another arc that happens later on in the comic book that is pretty fun. It's a big arc, but it's not like crazy big. Like, but there's a character who travels the multiverse, and as he does so, he collects superpowered beings, let's say, So I have thrown this out to my best friend in the world, who me and him talk Invincible all the time when the comics were coming out. And then when the show happened, I was like, he hated me for hating the show so much. He was like, "You're out of your mind," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. This is where I feel." But then I threw something at him. I go, "What if, what if this version is one of those other versions?" Because listen to me. I know, right? It sounds like spoilers, and you're like, "What the hell are you even talking about?" If this was to be an alternate version of the main story, and things go from bad to worse, oh, then I'm all for it. And then I will take back, I will retract all my statements and say, you know what? Season 1 was an absolute godsend, and this is why the comic book works so well, and now the show's working so well, because it's not what we think. That's the only way. Do I think that's gonna happen? No. But do I believe Robert Kirkman wouldn't pull a fast one like that just because? Absolutely, he would, because he's a great writer. He's great at that shit. I love Robert Kirkman. I absolutely do. And I'm very happy right now that he has his hands on the Transformers license. I'm very, very happy because he's a Transformers fan. He's an old school Transformers fan. He's like me. He loves that thing. So I am so happy to see what he does with that, the Energon universe. I can't wait. I think issue 2 probably came out of this, that the jump off. I gotta look for it. I gotta buy it. But yeah, I digress. Even more so, the trailer looks good for season 2. I can't lie and say it doesn't. But it's more like, here is a bunch of sequences. If you know the comic book, you know what it is. And here are a bunch of voice actors. And of course, when I saw Peter Cullen's name, Optimus freaking Prime, I said, of course he is. Because that's a Robert Kirkman thing. He loves Transformers. So yeah, my hat gets taken off. I tip my hat to that too. I don't know if I'm going to watch season 2 as much as it looks good. I just, again, season 1 bothered me. Season 1 bothered me. When the season 2 comes out, I'll read the comics all over again. I'll read the comics. And if I hear something major, if I hear what I think, what I wish I should say, if I hear my proposal actually came to fruition and is happening in the show, and I'm like, oh shit, I called it, then I'm gonna go back and watch it from season 1 and be like, this is the best thing. See, look, it makes all the sense in the world. But I digress. Last thing before we get out of here, let's talk about that GAMERA Rebirth trailer that Netflix dropped yesterday. I have one beef with the trailer. There are 5 kaiju, all of them from the Showa era, and they are not showing it. Let me rephrase that. They do not have Baragon. Baragon is not one of the 5. And to me, GAMERA versus Baragon, the second GAMERA movie, stands up there with the Heisei GAMERA trilogy as one of my favorite kaiju movies from the Showa era. I tell people all the time, I put that up there with the best Showa era Godzilla movies. I'm not saying it's better than them, but I put it up there with the best. If I have a bubble of Showa Godzilla movies, I say, oh, and GAMERA versus Baragon, and they go, wait, that's not Godzilla. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's just say Showa. I love that movie. It's like a perfect kaiju movie for the time. It's not kiddie. It's not friendly. It's grimy. It's dirty. Baragon's a monster that, yeah, it shoots rainbows out of his back. Please don't cancel no one. He's got a freeze rate. It's crazy. I love that thing. I love that thing, man. I love it. I love that movie. It's messed up. Corruption, greed, all of that stuff. It's all in there. So as a kid watching it, I'm like, wow, this is like a movie about bad guys. And then giant monsters. I loved it. And Baragon's not in this show. At least for what I know. They didn't show him in the trailer. They showed every other show about a GAMERA monster. They showed Gauss, Guron, Virus, Jiger, Wow, why can't I think right now? Tiger, Gauza. Oh my God. Zegra. Those are the 5. Those are the 5 they showed. I don't hate it. It looks good. It looks cool. I like the design changes and stuff. I like that they're actually, even in the trailer, you see Jiger stab Gamera with its tail. And it's like, oh, are they going to do the impregnation thing like they did in the movie, which was really weird, but they did it? That'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it. September 7th. That's right around the corner. That's not too far away. Get the Meg, right? Meg 2 in August. Little Dracula on a boat in August. Then wait a couple more weeks and get Gamera in September. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The trailer to me was cool. The animation, I don't hate the animation. It's different. But at the same time, I do dig it. I do dig it. It reminds me a lot of the... it might be the same... I don't know. Is it the same? It reminds me a lot of the Godzilla animated trilogy. I think Polygon. Or whatever it is. But, I'm going to look it up real quick. Hold up. Gamera Rebirth. Bam. Let's see. You would think it would pop up. Oh, no. Studio ENGI. Engi. I can't. Never heard of it. But, again, looks cool as hell. Looks cool as hell. I get my only beef. You said Gamera versus 5 monsters, and Baragon's not one of the 5. Yet Baragon was the first kaiju Gamera ever fought. So, disappointing to say the least. But hopefully, if the series is a success, they do another series, and Baragon gets added to the immaculate Heisei kaiju. Legion, Iris, or I like to say Legion and Edis. Then I'll be all right with all that. But I have droned on enough, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for this episode of the Geek Out. Barbenheimer, whatever you want to call it, blows up the box office. It's insane. If you've seen it and you like them, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if I'm being too harsh on Invincible, especially if you've read the comics. Let me know. If not, no problems. But that'll do it for this episode. I am G1, and we are out of here. Peace.